Hey, this is Tyrese Anderson. What I want to talk about today is why the British Empire collapsed, or more like the real reason why the British Empire collapsed, which is an empire that was the biggest empire that has ever existed in the face of the planet and has shaped the world pretty much as we know it today. I want to talk about why that empire collapsed, the true reason why it collapsed. So, to get started, why did the British Empire collapse compared to what a lot of people say? Some people say it was this, some people say it was that. The real reason why the British Empire collapsed is that they actually forgot something that, unlike their predecessors, antiquity predecessors, if you may will, such as the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, and so on and so forth, actually realized is that, which, if you look back at history, it is true, they did realize this, is that if you treat your subjects really, really, really badly, and you discriminate against them and treat them badly, it makes it more likely that they're actually going to want to rebel in some way, shape, or form. So the truth of the matter is that those empires in the past did everything in their power to, even though, of course, as far as they're concerned, if you're not an ancient Greek, or in the case of Rome, you are not a Roman, you're not the best type of person out there. But compared to how the British would later treat people, they actually treat them surprisingly quite well. The Romans and the ancient Greeks and a lot of the civilizations, they treat them quite well. As long as you paid your taxes, they didn't really treat you badly or give you a hard time. And of course, if there's not a war going on, they didn't treat those people really badly. The British did. And they went across the world from places like Africa, India, and so on and so forth, treating people really badly. And the truth of the matter is, that definitely opened up some loopholes in even the structure of the British Empire. Because the British Empire also claimed, especially in the 20th century, that they're a democratic society. And the thing of the matter is that if you're a democratic society, it means that you give people the right to freedom of speech. And if you give people the right of freedom of speech, and a huge portion of people absolutely cannot stand you, especially in your overseas colonies, particularly India, which Africa, to put it bluntly, didn't really give a crap about, aside from the resources, in all honesty. But yeah, like India, which had like 500 million people at the time, um, and they would, of course, voice their discontent. It makes it kind of hard for people to take you literally when you spend all of your time talking about giving, we give everyone equal rights, equal opportunities, blah, blah, blah. But you're treating people clearly, which at the time could be filmed on camera, really, really, really badly. So the truth of the matter is that they didn't treat them well. They didn't treat the people of the world well. Which, to put it bluntly, even if they didn't get their rights soon, there probably would have been riots, which India had many riots. Africa, South Africa particularly, had a lot of riots too, and so on and so forth. They would have seen major um, issues that would have happened, major destabilization issues, and even possibly a war that would have happened if Britain continued to rule their territories, particularly if World War II never happened. And because of World War II, they couldn't really fund their empires anymore. So that's why they gave a lot of it away. So the truth of the matter is that if they didn't have that, there probably would have been more issues that would have arisen at some point. So the truth of the matter is that that was something that was bound to happen. It has nothing to do with, it was this, it was that, or anything like that. No, You treated the people terribly, and that's exactly what happened. So the truth of the matter is, if anyone in life ever tells you anything differently about the British Empire, some people might say this, some people might say that and feel some degree of nostalgia or a feeling of sympathy towards it. Remember that they have no one to blame but themselves for that. Because to put it bluntly, even if they treated their people quite pretty well, the chances of how long it would have lasted would have actually been a lot longer than it actually did. Look at how long the ancient Greeks and ancient Romans and other civilizations lasted compared to Britain. You know, because some people might, well, of course, make the argument, well, they didn't have industrialization and all that sort of stuff. But no, I actually disagree with that, to put it bluntly, because the truth of the matter is, even if you have industrialization, they still had the ability to obviously control things like arms sales and all that stuff that people might in a country like India use to rebel against the British overlords, and stuff. So they still had a degree of control. And it's kind of hard to, in general, make that argument because obviously, if people in the first place are content and not discontented, they tend to not think in such a way to even rebel in the first place. So the idea that, well, it was because industrialization is not true. They brought it on themselves. So there's no one to blame but themselves for it. I will say a few things. Well, hey, at least they brought things like trains and a few other ideas that have made life more efficient. But even then, for them to be an empire for that reason, or I should say, to justify their imperialism for that, is really unnecessary and unfounded. It actually, in a lot of ways, screwed up the world a lot. So the simple answer to the question is no, no, no. They brought it on themselves. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. So anytime you hear that, just remember what I said. What I said. So this is my video. This is all I have to say about this subject. So just remember, if you like my videos and videos like this, remember to hit the subscribe button and thumbs this video up in order to support me. And that's all I have to say. So simply put it, later.